Wow. I heard that
Yeah.
announcement.
All right, and we're back here with Shane Thundercloud talking about Millennials, the dating show
What?
on Netflix.
Oh, Love is Blind?
Love is Blind, the dating show on Netflix.
Love is Blind 2.
Love is Blind 2, the dating show on Netflix.
I love that show.
Um, yeah, I mean, we watched the first season, and then the second season is more bonkers. I feel like it's because people saw the first season and they're like, I could do that because you don't even have to get married at the end. But the concept of the show is insane.
Do you think that people are more comfortable in doing it now with how many people changed over to Zoom dating throughout COVID? Like it's kind of like the same deal. We're not going to meet until after. I know you can't see them, but I know some people that went on Zoom dates after meeting someone on Bumble.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have done that. I guess,
I wouldn't either.
yeah, I don't have the.
It's hilarious because I've watched them actively do it and get drunk and then just hang up. It's so weird.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
anyway, no, the show, a lot of spoilers have been leaked, unfortunately, that I've seen by following these people.
oh, don't
Um,
fucking spoil it for me then.
well, not anything bad,
Oh,
but
okay.
I feel like the first 5 episodes are so far behind us now. The new five come out on Friday, which is exciting. But the show's concept, so many people came in and immediately it was awkward with people pouring in their insecurities immediately. I feel like the people that showed their
Hmm.
insecurities immediately didn't like, and you have like the random like chubby girls that say like one word and like they highlight the question of someone asking them like, do you like to work out? And she goes, no, I'm not a big fan. That was like her only line. I feel like that's really shitty to do to her, if
Yeah,
anything they're promoting.
yeah. See, that I didn't even notice that. Um, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
they definitely. I think they point out what people are like. Nah, I'm not gonna fuck with that. So like, and then there was that one girl that she was just always about herself, like always about herself and how many
but you
followers
liked
she
her.
had. No, I said I would. That would be the one that I would propose to, just so that I could go through the whole. I would be the villain of the show if I applied to it.
I feel like there's not supposed to be a villain in this show, and I feel like they,
But
other
there
than just
always
the people,
is.
but the people's general personalities, I feel like this
Make
season may have been a little bit more of a bachelor style show, like
yeah,
trying to put them in more scenarios like outside of the pods, right?
yeah. Yeah, it was the way that they filmed it was more reality TV show than social experiment this time.
But it's more memorable for me because I barely remember the first one. You were telling me I watched it. I was like, I don't think I did.
Yeah, yeah. The only one I really remembered it was the girl that was like the most reality TV show esque, which
Was her
was
name Jen?
Jessica.
Yeah.
The
I
like
remember Barnett because Barnett had two girls.
because of Jessica. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Um,
but so like, all right, so 20, was it 24 people go in? Is that right?
I can't tell you the number of people that go on. I
Regardless, they do such a bad job on giving you a time frame throughout this.
yeah,
Yeah, they act like it's all like been a lot longer than you realize, like, oh my God, these people have only been talking to each other for a day and they're ready to
yeah.
propose.
Which it makes me wonder how much time they spend in like those pods, like just sitting there like
But you have to
bullshitting.
think about all the distractions that are removed from it. Like that's not real life. It's like the whole paradise thing that they do in, they remove you. You're not allowed to have your cell phone, right? So you're only hanging out and you get like into this little collective group and everyone's immediately like picking sides and like especially the girls. The guys were, as every reality show goes, like just broing out
Yeah, the guys are
like
always
oh let's
best
take
friends.
shots, let's
Yeah.
let's work out together, let's make some, you know, bi-curious jokes with each other and like just keep on pumping each other up and like telling it
Yeah,
like just all
there's
of it. And then
like
you go over
there's
to
always
the
the
ladies and one that lady that you're talking about, whatever the hell her name was, when she said, I think Nick's like really into me. Danielle's not any competition. And the producer's like, she goes, I'm not worried about a girl like her. The producer's like, you know that he can't see you, right? She goes, oh, like it just shows how dumb it is. But then you go to the girls and are just like immediately talking shit about each other and
girls
catty
are
as
more
shit.
girls are more mean than men. It's 100% just a fact.
But it shows like how territorial they were getting immediately,
Oh
as
yeah,
opposed to like the guys. The guys were
they're
just
vicious.
even, and we'll get to it, but at the point when they were trying to, do proposals and everything, they were still comforting each other. It was wild, as opposed to the girls that were like, and it makes me think of, do the girls only want that person because someone else is interested in them? You know, like,
Yeah,
is it like the whole
that's
thing
just
of like once you get a
naturally just
girlfriend, like once
that's
you get a girl,
naturally
I think it's
mating.
different for a guy though. Once a girlfriend gets a boyfriend, it's not like you're, oh, she can have a boyfriend, I want to be with her. It's complete opposite for girls. It's like, oh, he has, whatever. But
Yeah.
so let's break it down. First people to get engaged,
Nick
and
and
Danielle.
Danielle.
Nick, the
Um,
6'4", potentially
Nick definitely has
homosexual.
some homosexual tendencies for sure. And that is as a man that's often people often think I'm gay.
Is it is it not, is it fair to say though that he may slightly be like have like a hint of Asperger's? Is that like he has a pinch of it? I don't know if that's bad to say.
I didn't Asperger's didn't come up once in my mind when I watched the show.
He's a little
Um,
on the spectrum, the way that he handles and talks to things, or maybe he's just really articulate, and I few people that are articulate and more intelligent to be autistic, which is a
he's
shout out to all
shout
my
out
spectrum boys.
shout out Spectrum. He's he's definitely out there. A lot of their arguments I don't find like I don't know why you'd want to be in a relationship where that's the stuff you're arguing about.
I think it's hilarious though. No, let's get back to the first one. So they're talking, they're in love, he loves her. He proposes on
They
the
come off
first day.
originally very strong. Very strong. You're like, oh,
She's insecure. She's saying about how she's, which
she
I
used
don't
to
know
be
if
a
it was like
fat
a
girl.
requirement, because the majority of the girls they're like, yeah, I lost 70 pounds. I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit, how much did you lose collectively? Like,
Well, to be fair, this isn't like the top of the dating pool. This is the people like me that
it made
like,
me feel
that are
it made me
giving
feel
up.
pretty attractive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It made me
It's
feel
the
like I was
people with
at least, I wouldn't.
it's the people with the personalities that are like, I don't think I have anything. I think I'm gonna have to force something into working.
It's the difference of me going out in Kalamazoo for a night and feeling like I'm, maybe a little bit top tier compared, and as opposed to going out in Chicago and be like, I should not be seen in
Yeah,
public.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
happy they mandate masks because I don't want to show my
In
face.
Kalamazoo, you're a decade older than everybody and make more money and
Yeah. And down, I mean, like, and people that live here still, like, there's decent money, but they're not like, everyone that's
yeah,
super attractive goes to
it's
big cities.
big pond to small pond.
Yeah.
And this
So that,
show is the smallest fucking most vetted pond there's ever been.
and so it's like immediately they're like, they say that they talk about things that they've never talked about with anyone. Aren't there things like that you don't need to tell your significant other every single thing of your past?
I'd say that's important to like bring up certain things and if you're gonna start
Okay, well
dating somebody like that.
we'll get to that one conversation that I where they just spilt it all. We'll talk about after this with Jarrett.
Oh yeah, that was insane.
All right, so Nick and
Yeah,
Danielle. Danielle's like, I'm super insecure that he's gonna see me and be like not attracted to me.
yeah,
And
'cause she
Nick,
used to
he's
be a
not like
fat
he's like,
girl.
Nick's 36. He's not unattractive. He just looks like a generic white 36-year-old guy that
Yeah,
has like a
he looks like he works at a finance company.
right. He works in software marketing, so I'm assuming he probably makes a
Yeah,
pretty good income. But he
yeah,
also drives a Jeep, old Jeep like Liberty.
yeah, and I mean he makes his own toothpaste and whatnot, which is weird. That's weird.
So they meet and they're all excited. They're really into each other, find each other attractive. They go on, they go to Mexico, first people to go. And off the bat, you think they're going to be the strongest. And then, I don't know what they're doing in Mexico, just hanging out and like getting it on. At least they're attracted. That didn't really progress into anything
Yeah,
until everyone else met up with them. So the next people that were to get
they were
engaged.
one of the few couples that were like they were boning right away. Everything
Also, I don't
seemed
think that they would have been, if they were in the pods longer, I don't think their conversations were that entertaining. Like they were just,
Yeah.
he goes, I come from a strict Catholic family. I'm
Yeah.
kind of the odd
They come off as like very like boring but crazy,
vanilla.
like mentally insane people.
Right. So do you want to talk about what happens when we get there? Do you want to move on till everyone's there?
Uh, yeah, let's just introduce every couple and then we'll go from
I
there.
don't know who was next. Was it Shake and
Next, was it? Just go through whatever. It doesn't the timeline doesn't matter.
I'm gonna
Let's
forget
talk
someone.
the Indian
So you have
couple.
I'm not you have I'm gonna go by their nicknames because I don't want to butcher it and be slandered.
Yeah, Shake and
Shake and
Deep
Deeps.
D.
Shake Deep Deep D. She
By
goes
the
by
way,
Deeps, all right?
my cousin just got engaged to an Indian man. Shout out them. He's very nice. I'm looking forward to the wedding.
Are you
Do
gonna
only the
dress in
girls?
traditional Indian wear?
Oh, if that's an option, absolutely. Do only the girls do the henna thing, or is that but guys too?
I think it's only girls.
Well, I'm gonna be on the girl side of the family, so I'm just gonna do it, unless it's offensive.
I have a question that I don't know if like do they put the in traditional Indian culture, do they put
Okay.
the dot, the jewel on their forehead before the ceremony, the wedding ceremony?
I don't know how any of that works. The third eye stuff. I don't know how any of that works.
I know that the Amish people grow their beard out when they're engaged or when they're married. Random but fun fact. So anyway, you have Shake and Deep D, who are Shake's a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Seems like he really reminds.
I don't know how you're remembering what all these people do.
Oh, I'm fully invested in the show.
I remember the
I
hairdresser
don't
and the
think,
fucking real estate guy. That's it.
yeah, because they're the most
They're
reality TV
entertaining.
personas. So you have DP the veterinarian. His IG is the doctor or the puppy doc, which is a great handle.
That's fucking and by the way, he seems like a very cool guy. I would want to hang out with him.
Oh, I would love to hang out with him. He reminds me of what's his name, Kevin G or whatever. It's from Mean Girls, the guy that raps, the Indian guy that raps,
Yeah.
because he goes, "I'm a veterinarian, but I'm also a DJ." And he goes, like, I like going to festivals. If we were going to a festival, I like putting the girls on my shoulders. Would I be able to put you on my shoulders? And he was
Yeah,
just asking
he
these
was asking
questions about.
he was the most aggressive with the question thing. He was just straight out
He
there.
was
Just
hilarious though because he seemed like a good guy, but he did seem so shallow because he was asking, goes, I like to buy my girls clothes. If I were to buy you clothes, what size would I be looking for?
I have a lot of stuff up on the top shelf. If you were to climb a ladder, would it break? Like, which I mean, like he's trying to get around the system, which does make him seem shallow. But you know, I think everybody to a certain point is shallow, whether you like to admit it or not.
That's why I also wonder, like, are they asking, obviously based off their names? He goes, oh, you're Indian. She goes, how do you know? He goes, I'm Indian. And they bond off that immediately. They talk about how they had similar upbringings moving from India and traditional families, but they've only dated white, blonde people, both of them.
Yeah,
They're pretty much their first Indians for each other. And see, that's where it like seems like it's just like a random fairy tale. Like, all right, well, we can be together, like we're perfect for each other. And like you were saying, like the way that Nick and Danielle are white and white, Shake and Deep D are Indian, and then like going
yeah.
on every blindly every race like pretty much picked each other for the most part.
There's no inner. I guess yeah. There's a
There's
white guy and
one,
an Asian girl. Yeah,
but like at what point are they? That's why I want to know what the conversations are. Obviously, like you can tell by they say a decent amount of things that give them kind of visual representation of them, but did are they outside of that? Are they asking like, hey, what's your background like?
yeah.
Or is that
I mean,
also like do they not air that because it jeopardizes the authenticity of the show?
yeah. Which I think they wouldn't air that, but from what I know from reality TV shows, is they definitely like. There's definitely a ton of shit that they just leave out, whether it's for their
Yeah, like
benefit or just because it's boring, and that's probably some part of it.
as dumb as it sounds, is I would have loved to see all of it. I would have loved to watch like and listen like their
Oh,
conversations.
just have like a fucking 7
Live,
hours
they
of
put a live stream on it. Like I would love to watch this live. I
like
love
a
the show.
like
I want to be the host.
there's a pre-Twitch show like
Yeah,
Love is Blind behind the scenes where you just sit there
yes,
watching Twitch. That's
because
an
they talk
interesting
about,
marketing ploy.
but they talk about like their sexual experiences and everything. Like they highlight like a 5 minute scene of it, almost like flashing through every couple talking about like sex stuff or like what would we do. Like it's almost
Yeah.
like blind dating from the blind date game show that Chuck Lowry used to host. Be back in 2 and 2. Look it up. And it's like they're setting up all these scenarios, and that's when it gets over romanticized. Is if you're talking to someone, even if you're talking to someone on the phone that you're dating, or if you're texting throughout the day, I feel like you go above and beyond what you're actually like in real life to what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like whether
Yeah,
it's
for
something
sure.
sexual, whether it's something that you're gonna like surprise them with the most romantic date, like there's
It,
always this hype built up, and then after like let's say a month or two into a relationship, and like, oh, you promised to do this and this, and he goes, well, I did this, and it's never like the same thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's never like it's not organic is what it is. It's very like
Yeah.
forced.
So yeah, like Shake finally he like has a heart to heart with Deep D and he has another one. Second one, she goes, I just want to let you know that I lost
Yeah.
70 pounds. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck
same
does 70
story as the
pounds
first
keep?
couple, yeah.
Yeah, except she's
Apparently,
Indian, a little
yeah.
spicier with it. And she was talking about how
And
she's super
she
insecure.
doesn't look bad now, but like yeah, but
No,
now they have this like weird like he's not
well, no.
sexually
So he's like,
attracted to her.
he breaks it down. He goes, yeah, like I guess I was just super shallow because I'm insecure because I was chubby growing up and all that. But this isn't good. My computer's about to die. Poor planning. BRB. Be back in
And
2 and 2.
we'll cut here.
I don't like how that announces like that.
Okay. All right. So reclap. Okay, back to picking up back from um how they were
Deep
fat.
D's. Yeah. So they finally decide, all right, like you're gonna be the first and only brown person ever with.
Yeah,
That's what they say. Like that's not and
that's quotes.
and they're like, oh, we're not gonna do the Indian traditions of touching the feet, everything like that. Whatever.
I don't understand that, but okay.
You know what it is?
I know there's something with stealing a shoe. Is that Indian?
That's different. When a man proposes or at the wedding, the woman is supposed to touch the man's feet.
Okay. I don't. All right.
And I say I'm not gonna do that. Proposes, whatever. She's freaking out that Shake's not gonna find her attractive. Same thing as the last one. He, doors open. He's thrilled. Seems to be, so happy. They connected emotionally, all these stories and everything so similar. And I don't know if he knows, but he touches her feet, whatever, roles reversed. She's happy. They're kissing. He's grabbing her butt very aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
Almost seemed kind of like uncomfortable because they'd never met face to face. And he's just like,
Yeah, just in there.
and he quoted saying, I already told her that if that booty's anywhere around me, it is not safe, which kind of was a creepy quote, but yeah, he runs up, starts kissing her, and grabs her butt hard and super excited. And I feel like everything changed for him. Then he's like,
Yeah, what I think is the most bullshit statement ever said is like, "Oh, I really connect with her spiritually, but physically I can't get there." Like I don't.
he says it was like talking to his aunt, or it was
Yeah,
like she was his aunt. I
which is
don't
like,
know.
then that means you just want to be like her friend. That's what that means, right?
I do admire him for still like so throughout the process he's like saying like, oh, I'm not attracted to her, I don't know if we can be intimate. She's all over him when they're in on each other inside the resort on the pool, and she's falling all over him saying like, I just want to marry you, all this stuff, and he's like up looking around. It reminded me of like a college bar when the one
Yeah, like a
drunk
super
sorority girl
drunk.
wraps her arms around you and goes, "I
Yeah,
just
and you're like,
love you."
oh.
Like, yeah, like you're really attractive. You're obviously very drunk, and this is really uncomfortable, and I don't want
Yeah,
to
it's like you don't want to get
do
in
any of this
trouble. Yeah.
like that. But also, like, it goes away from like the people want to have to chase a little bit, right? The immediate chase, and now that 3 days into it, you're engaged to a person that you just met, and they're falling all over you after you already discussed in the pod that I want to marry you, I want to have kids with you. I think it's once it's in real life, again, you're out of that fantasy, what you're imagining in your head, or, you know, it's just so close and such a small time. I don't know. I think it's over romanticized. And then he's like,
Yeah,
shit,
for
like I'm
sure.
having commitment issues. He starts
Which
talking, well, I want to
that
open
makes
my own practice and like I gotta focus on that. It was like such an awkward, like trying to
yeah.
get her away.
There's so many awkward conversations. Well, naturally, there's going to be awkward conversations in it, anyways. But like, it's just so awkward.
Do they talk about like, I don't know. It's just weird.
A lot of people like they just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't like one side won't just get what's going on. Like they're
Right.
not reading the room at all, which makes it really hard to watch sometimes.
Brutal. Which leads us to one of our next ones. But those two people are like, it seemed they were pretty normal. Both those couples at
I
first,
like
they
both
seem
of them.
normal.
Yeah,
They're fine.
yeah.
Liked them both. You're rooting for them. Then you get into
You want to talk about Shane or Shayna first, or you want to talk about what's the other one? Is it Sebastian?
Salvador and
Salvador
Mallory.
and Mallory, and then
All right, we'll talk about Salvador and Mallory and
no, let's talk about
Jarrett.
Jared and yeah,
So
that's all
Jarrett
like
starts
one
off
thing.
strong. Jarrett starts off strong, like super into two girls. um,
He's another guy who I'd really like to hang out with.
I
He seems like
I
a cool
admire him
dude.
because he was like having conversations that I wouldn't be able to. I probably would have gone more around like the Shane approach throughout most of it. Like I was Jared's like admitting like, yeah, there's actually like another girl like I have a connection with here, and like he's
Yeah,
being
being
very
very straight up.
straightforward and like upfront like I could see life with both of you and
But I mean, Shane was literally like, is that Shayna? And it was not Shayna. He's like, come on, stop playing with me. Which
like
made it
Shayna like
like,
she goes who she guess who goes Shayna, good, I was hoping it was you. What are you wearing? Now so Jared,
do they
cool
not
guy.
know who's in the room when they go in there? Do they have to guess every time? Because I feel like that would happen way more than it did, if so.
I think so.
Like I
But
would be fucking that up
they
constantly.
can also schedule time with people, like
Yeah,
specific time.
yeah. Like I get the
I don't know. I think
first
Nick
day or
Lachey was
so.
just like, we're gonna fuck with this guy.
Yeah. They picked the right guy.
Shane's a great follow, by the way. I follow him now.
Really. I probably
Anyway,
won't,
so
but
Jarrett, cool guy. Um, super straightforward, super adult about how he handles all his stuff. Had a love interest with Mallory and Ayana.
mhm.
Um, like it seemed like him and Mallory were like bros. Like they were like throwing out, talking to like,
Yeah,
but they're also like
I
super flirty and like they were like hitting all the like had all the same goals, all same like everything.
I was actually
And
surprised. I was actually surprised when he said that she was his number one, and not Ayana, because like to me they hit it off way better in the beginning.
I think it was. It's gonna sound bad. It was like a cultural thing. They were more similar with their background, like Ayana and Jarrett. Like they connected
Jared.
over like a lot more of like similar stuff. But when he started talking to Mallory, Mallory like has like all her life together, and he was like talking about like how attractive it was that she was had like a nice job, like she had investment properties, she had like this and that. I thought he was gonna go with her. I don't know. They both seem to like each other, but
I was also
conversation,
surprised when she picked was it Salvador? Is it Salvador?
yeah,
I can't
Salvador
figure this guy's name
from
out.
El Paso.
I
He's in
also found
tourism sales.
I found it was weird that she picked him over Jared as well. Like I didn't understand that either.
So again, so it's like different. She's half Polish and half Mexican, and Salvador's Mexican.
Mexican.
So they like bonded over that. And it's like one of the things like she was saying, like Salvador's never someone I would have gone for in real life. Like not whatever. Like whatever it is. But Jarrett proposes, ends up saying, he's back and forth between Mallory and Ayana. Decides he's gonna go in for Mallory and says, "What would you say if if I were to propose to you?" After he got her tacos on Taco Tuesday, and she just cried and said that the other connection was stronger. Left Jarrett in
So shut
shambles.
down. And then he had to tell. And then he had to tell Ayana.
So that was what I was gonna say. Building up to that point, that was a difference between the guys and the girls. Like Salvador and Jarrett were very adult about it, saying like, "Yeah, like we know that it's her decision. Like we'll still be friends, but like she's deciding on who she wants to be with."
Yeah.
Jarrett's bawling, crying. Mallory's crying, goes back in. Ayana tries comforting her. 2 hours later, Jarrett's like, "Ayana, blah blah blah. You're not second fiddle. I talked to God. Will you marry me?"
And yeah,
She says yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a little more bumpy than that, but yeah, but that's basically where we were at. But I don't, gosh, that would be so hard for me to say yes to.
Let's say yes to it, and then you get to spend the next couple of weeks with the other person that your fiance wanted to marry first.
Which is what happens when they all meet up for the first time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but the thing that like Ayana seems really nice, but like I feel like they connected over such dark, sad things. Like she had a
Yeah.
rough upbringing, and they're all just talking about how like she has trust issues, she has this, she has that, how she was just sexually assaulted when she was 17, and how it still affects her to this day. She's 26, I think. She's a master's student, and also an actress. And after she says that, and the way that they produce it, I don't know if there's any conversation in between it. He goes, "Yeah, me and my one of my buddies, like we had like tension building between us, then blah blah blah, ran into each other, and I just didn't see the knife." He goes, "I was stabbed." I was like, "Holy shit!" Like
that's a gnarly scar too, bro.
Yeah, they must have gotten pretty good.
Yeah, and then like, but then once they move in together, he's very like party, like he likes to go out, like drink,
Well, that's the
hang
shit
with
that
the
I'm saying. Like they're
boys, and
putting
it
him in
seems
like
like
an
she doesn't even
imaginary
drink.
world.
Yeah,
They're putting him in an imaginary world where you take away your friends and you take away your communication with people, and then you go back to normal. And it's like, oh yeah, me and my boys go out on Wednesday night or like
yeah,
Thursday, whatever it is, and he's going out, and he's just like, yeah, I like to go out, I like to see my friends.
yeah. She does. It seems like she doesn't even really drink.
But yeah, shit doesn't seem
And
like it at
they're
all.
doing the whole no sex before marriage thing.
Well,
Right?
I respect her for it since she was just second. She was asked to propose 2 hours after. She has.
Yeah. That's a big issue with the show for me though. Is like I wouldn't be able to, that's a hurdle I wouldn't be able to get over. Like that, and then like also just living with somebody for like a couple of weeks and then being like, okay, now we're married and we're like legally got to do this. That would be another thing for me because I don't know, living with somebody is probably the hardest part, one of the hardest parts.
Well, like yeah, because they go to vacation for a couple of weeks in Mexico and then go back and live with each other in an apartment and then have to go back to their everyday life. So I think it's again you take away from the reality of it, the fake, we're doing this and this. This isn't a dream world anymore, whatever. But she says yes, they move on. Last two couples, Kyle and Shane and Natalie, all involvement with each other. Shayna is a mean girl.
Shayna's the meanest. Shayna's the meanest girl I've ever seen on a reality TV show. She is the devil.
Yeah, she's so like her and Shane were perfect for each other. Shane just like a dog, right? Like he's a dumb dog that just wants quick attention.
He literally asks her every day what she's wearing, and he's like, "Oh,
and she tells him. She gets excited to tell him. She's like, "Oh, I'll tell you
she's
what I'm
like,
wearing.
I thought for sure, I thought 100%. I'm like, there's
top.
no way.
I thought it would be like the first time, all right, that's cool. Then like 3 more times after that, like she's still getting excited to it. It shows how like vague and like stereo, like I don't know, like That's what
Yeah,
I'm
well,
looking for.
that, and then he's asking her like, "What's her sex drive like?" And they're like, "Oh, 5 times a day," and he's like, "Fuck yeah!" And then that contrasted with Natalie, who he mistook for Shayna, and who he like, it does at least doesn't show what he asked the sex drive question or asks what she's wearing any day. All with Shane. So they're only showing him asking Shayna those questions and not Natalie,
Right.
which to me I was like
But he
home
was saying
run.
like he
Shane and Shayna, they even got a stupid fucking same name thing going. And I thought for sure once he did the Natalie thing where he said, "Hey, oh, it's Shayna, I knew it," and she's like, "No, this is Natalie." I thought for sure she'd be like at least smart enough to be like, maybe I should second guess this, you know?
the thing is like the way that he handled it is such an immature, childish way of getting mad and acting like he's the victim. After he just earlier that day said that Natalie was like his girlfriend or whatever it was. He said that at one
Yeah,
point.
he
I don't
said,
know.
yeah, he told her that. Yeah,
And then he's like trying to
he was
do
like,
it was
"Will you
weird.
be my
He was
girlfriend?"
he was a different person between both of them. He was like a tool douchebag fuck boy with Shayna. Then he was like trying to be the person I think he wants to be with like more mature and like grown up with him.
And
Also, the dude
something,
has the worst laugh. He's over the top. He's
oh, his voice is,
obnoxious.
yeah, he's so obnoxious. I feel like a part of the show that goes into this that people don't think about is the people in the show are probably scared of what they're going to come off as when the show airs. So I feel like they'll be
Who do you
like,
think had?
"Oh, to not look like a douchebag, I'm going to just go with Natalie because I asked her to be my girlfriend and then it wouldn't look as bad when I accidentally called her Shayna." And, you know,
I do like how he owned up to it. He goes, "Am I a tool? Yeah, I live up like I'm a huge tool. I get that."
yeah,
But
yeah.
and you're gonna hate this, but as the show goes on, I actually feel like he's a
He
needy
gets
guy, but
better. He gets
he's a
better.
lot better and nicer, and he actually is a genuinely like family guy and like wants to be with Natalie, which is refreshing. Afterwards, after him and Natalie work it out, and they don't really show the full conversations that they've had. They only show clips, so maybe they like bond a lot more aggressively. They just want to show highlights that will make you leave it between Shayna and Natalie. He tells Natalie, or he ends up telling Shayna, he goes, "Yeah, like Natalie's the one." Adult move by him, strong.
Yeah, yeah. He
But then he
progresses as the
goes,
show does, but still.
well, they try bringing in Shayna again afterwards, like when they all meet up in Chicago.
Yeah, which that
Which
conversation is
why
bonkers.
was Shayna gone? Because Shayna was in love with Shane, but Shane was taken. So she had
Yeah.
another connection with
Is it Kyle or
Kyle.
Kevin? Kyle.
Kyle, the guy that talk construction worker that talks like Joe from you. He has this way that he talks that is like this. And he overextends some certain words. And like the rhythm of his voice is just like Joe from you. He has some creepy kind of tendencies. And he's like the guy that thinks he's being super romantic, but it comes off as creepy to
He,
girls. You know what I mean?
I feel like he thinks he's smarter than he is too.
Yeah.
Um,
His conversation, like he just honestly it's the way that he talks. It's the rhythm of his voice is why he sounds like he's smarter than he is.
yeah, it's I he's the biggest dumb dumb on the whole fucking show in my opinion. I'm sorry.
I
I'm sorry. If you ever watch this, Kev, you got to go to social awareness school because like you made me so uncomfortable the whole time you were on screen.
yeah, it was super cringy.
Also,
The way
Shayna
that
should have never clearly should have never. I get maybe she was on the spot a little bit, but should have never said yes
yeah, but you could
when
say
he
no and
proposed.
then you never have to see this person again.
Yeah, I mean,
You never have to talk to this person again.
their
He left
relationship was the worst. I feel like she just
it
needed
didn't make
something
any
since Shane
sense.
had something.
What are the big exactly? What are the things that people get divorced over? It's like religion, money, infidelity. And he's like talking about how he's an atheist, but she's a devout Christian and how important. He goes, "We'll make it
Yeah.
work." I'm like, if
Yeah,
you are that
yeah.
hard atheist and she's that hard Christian, do you really want to deal with this headache every day?
I mean, every Sunday you have to deal with that shit. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
And the relationship didn't make any sense. I think that she did kind of get like they had his mom's engagement ring in there. She's like, "Yeah." Sure.
Yeah, she took. Yeah,
They
it
meet each
was.
other. He's so excited. She's taking
Oh, when
shots of Jack Daniels behind the
he
screen.
immediately goes for the kiss, and it's one of the worst things I've ever seen on TV. Like he like goes in, and she clearly is not about it, and it was just like he grabbed her face and just went full force ahead, and I was like,
That was super bad. That was awful.
that right there is when you should know. Is when the girl
He
bragging about her sex drive doesn't want to kiss you and then doesn't want to stay then doesn't want to stay in your room the first night.
yeah, it was brutal.
She left at like
Well,
7 o'clock in the
she tells him
afternoon.
there, she goes, yeah, I think that we should reevaluate this. But then she goes to Mexico and then tells him, she goes, yeah, I'm not going to sleep in bed. He goes, I think I'm going to go to my own room and go to bed. He goes, it's 7:30.
Yeah, and then she just leave. Can't they just go to like the like local bar or the downstairs bar and like have some drinks? That would be my move because that's my natural
Yeah,
environment. So I mean that's where I feel like I would thrive, get a few drinks in them, loosen up a
yeah.
little bit. But I like
They made
they
it
just
so
sit in the
awkward
room.
though. Like her mind was already made up. Everyone saw it except Kyle. Super
Yeah.
uncomfortable. He wants to meet up. She leaves Mexico, wants to meet up again. They have lunch. They're like, yeah, this isn't going to work. He goes, okay, initially she was wearing the engagement ring on her thumb. And he goes, oh, why are you wearing it on a thumb? She's like, I don't want it to fall off my ring finger. He goes, oh, okay. Like, dude, so awkward.
Just the way that he just keeps trying to make it work is I appreciate the
It was like
persistence.
you're watching like a dog just like being put down slowly. And it was,
Yeah,
you
like where
just
she's
like,
like, get
just
out of
get it.
here.
Yeah.
Go
Like,
on, I
just,
don't love you anymore. And the dog's like keep following her.
it
Yeah, it's
was
like that.
so
It's
uncomfortable.
yeah, it was. And then she goes and meets up with Shane on the beach and
And starts talking shit about Natalie,
just starts talking shit. Yeah, like
which I liked how Shane was like actually like
he stood up for her.
she goes, it's hilarious that you guys are two are together. Like you are the least compatible people like ever. Like this is not gonna last. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and
Well,
I mean,
he's like an insecure guy. He goes like, well, who's saying that? Like, why are they saying that?
I will say like Shayna is probably the most physically attractive girl on the show, to
Which
me
is
at
probably why
least.
her personality is the fucking
Which is
worst.
and yeah, but she's also a 31-year-old hairdresser, so she's like one lost pair of scissors away from being a hook or a stripper or whatever. Like she she which I don't know how elevated she is in her career. She could be like one of those ones that charges like $1,000 a haircut to cut like a model's hair. Maybe. I
She
don't
does do
know.
a lot of
But
traveling per her Instagram. I think that she is like she's past her her stage of being, having professional athletes in Chicago find her physically attractive, and now she's
yeah,
panicking.
now she's 31 and she's not 26.
Yeah.
And it's just how it goes. Which is why I call this millennial the dating show. It's because everybody waited too long and now they're like, ah, shit. Because this is going to happen to me. I'm going to be on this show in 5 years, 2 years. Like right now, I would go on it as a joke. Right now, I would go on it and be like, I'm gonna try and get this the one that was obsessed with herself to like be
I don't
engaged
know her
with her
name.
because I think it would be funny. And then like the whole time it would just be a disaster shit show. And then at the end I'd be like, yeah, no, I can't do this.
I would love to watch that.
I know it would be funny. It would be hilarious, but
But no, like
and
so
we
all right, like you're right. Everyone's waited too long. They're kind of panicking, and which, not to sound sexist, but I think is probably more prevalent on the girl side.
yeah.
Except like Ayana. I don't know why Ayana was there. Like she's like a fun, like cute, bubbly person, and she's like, I'm like, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
Like
she
everyone else, like I
you
could see
got
why you're here.
is she the youngest one too? Like she's got time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you got
She's
yeah.
26 or 27, one of the two.
Yeah, I could see it. Like I could see where it would be kind of more difficult because it doesn't seem like she's into drinking or going out. So that could be
Right,
and as a grad student, like you don't have a lot of opportunities to go and just like sit down and shoot the shit with people.
right.
But overall, yeah, she seems like the most I'm not gonna she seems like she's got plenty of time to still find somebody.
I mean Natalie too, but I think Natalie had more of like she wanted to settle down and was tired of like bullshit kind of deal. And then
Yeah.
she picks the biggest tool in the show.
Their
But
arguments crack me up.
dude, the people, oh, because he doesn't know how to be sarcastic or joke,
Yeah. He's
and he
just
gets super offended.
see, you want to talk about Asperger's, like Shane might have Asperger's. Like he's the most like
I like him now, dude.
I like Shane. Nick to me is more like a drama queen. I feel like me and
Dude,
him would
Nick
still get
stirs it
along.
up. He's
Yeah,
hilarious. He
he
just goes and
gaslights the
stirs the
shit out
pot.
of her. He gas
So, so everyone else leave. All right. So down to six couples. You have everyone going. Salvador and Mallory meet. She doesn't really find him attractive right off the bat. Again, another awkward interaction of him trying to kiss her, not really feeling it. They'll go to Mexico, and that's where the drama ensues. You start seeing Nick and Danielle. Danielle has apparently not taken her crazy pills because she's freaking out on Nick on every little thing. And he's
Yeah.
trying to ration with her and have a talk to her like this. And then she keeps on going and going. He goes, I don't know what. He's like, I will not talk or do not talk to me like that. Or like, you're raising your voice at me. He goes, I don't know what's going on. Like,
To
but
me,
it cuts.
they were the most like I'm like, there's no way they don't make it until that like dinner where she was like too sick to go out, and then I'm like, okay, maybe they're not gonna make it. Like
Nick
there
was
seemed
just
like
out
so
having
many
fun.
holes after that.
Well, like, yeah, she got food poisoning, but also it's a part. He probably should have stayed. I probably would have stayed. But also comes the point of he is on a reality show. He's going to meet 10 people that or six people, five people that he's never seen physically, that he's dated through a pod for a day and a half. And he wants to see the people that he was with because they were the first people in Mexico. They'd already been there a few days, like a week
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, they went very fast.
And then you go and he's just pounding shots and he's stirring it up. He's like talking to Cherry. He goes, you see Mallory? She's beautiful. Like all this shit. And he's like just over there, like with his martini and olives talking to the girls. Like, oh my God, did you hear about this? It's like it
Yeah,
cuts to him and he's just sweating profusely and he's wasted. He's just like, I don't know if any one of these people are gonna make it. Like, just like then he goes back and he's like, I was watching you. He's like, I was watching you go out and like have fun. And like he goes, yeah, I was because I sat in the closet for 3 hours and cried. I was like, that is not something that I would say on that like TV. Like I locked myself in the closet and bawled and got in my head about everything. He goes, what? He goes, I was
but
talking to
it's not
people
his.
about you. She goes, she goes, I saw you walk towards the beach. Because yeah, like I saw you talk to that girl. Like, because I was meeting everyone. Like, it was
That's
just funny as shit.
that's like such to me that's such a girl thing where it's almost like the you pissed her off in her dream type thing.
Oh yeah, because he's like,
It's
what did
like
I do? And she goes,
since you're not having a bad time with her, then that means you're just the worst.
it was so. It's like I got all in my head about everything. He goes, about what? Like he was just trying to figure it out. She
Like
was.
instead of yeah, I mean like
I was like, I'm
you
mad at you, and I'm not going to tell you why. He goes, I don't know what's going on.
yeah,
And
it's
then
just such a bad situation.
like, we just need to like make sure that we're communicating better and having like and she's just like, fine. And like, all right, yeah, we're
Yeah.
good. And then it keeps on coming up. Every little thing that they're doing, she just wants to make it insecure. Also,
She,
the rock band thing when they go back
oh
to
yeah,
Chicago.
I was about to say that she has so many nitpicky like little small things where we're like seriously, dude, like
She's talking about how wasted they're getting, like breaking tables at people's apartments and everything. And Nick goes like, I don't know how this is going to be with your friends coming over, but I don't hope your friends don't come over intending on to break things at like our apartment. And she freaks out. And he goes like, are they going to break stuff on purpose? No, like we were just talking about how it's fun. He's like, I'm just saying, like I like to keep the place
Yeah.
like clean. Like I don't
It's
want my
like
table being broke.
does the rock band drum sets have to stay out in the living room? And she's like, absolutely, I play it all the time. And you're like, Rock Band was a game that was popular when I was in like middle school.
Right.
Like 2008, 9, 10. Rock Band was
Well, the
very
part that was so
popular.
uncomfortable is when she picked up the green inflatable guitar and acted like she was playing it. And I was like, oh my God, this girl's
Yeah,
crazy.
and then they're just sitting on the couch wearing the hot dog costume and the corn
That was pretty
costume.
funny. I
It's
would,
silly, but you
dude,
know he was just sitting there like, God damn it.
if Emmy came out in a hot dog costume, I would think that's funny as shit.
It would be funny, but also it
But
would be
but it was a whole different thing.
yeah. That was I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna make. Honestly, if I had to bet, I would say that Nick says no. Let's do predictions for the last episode.
Um, I haven't seen any spoilers, honestly. I didn't read any of the
That doesn't
articles that said
matter.
it.
I don't
I
think
don't
what
know
you're
any of
gonna
it.
say is gonna change what I think.
I think that, I think Nick will say yes. I think that they'll end up getting married. I
Really,
think that
I'm gonna say
Jarrett,
Nick says no. Nick bails.
all right, well, let's keep a tally of this.
Okay, I'll go back and watch it and keep it.
I'm a positive guy. Nick says yes. Oh, I don't know about, let me get the easy one. Oh, dude, I don't know.
How about
This
what's next? Is
shaking
that
beeps.
shake and beat? I say that's a yes. I
I
say
think
they
it's a
do it.
yes too. I think it's a yes. Jarrett and Ayana, I think is a no.
Jared and Ayana, you think is a no?
Yeah.
I think they're fuck. These two are the tough ones for me. I'm gonna say I'm rooting for them. I say yes. I say Jared and Ayana are a yes.
Sal and Mallory.
That one I think is a no.
Am I gonna go yes on everyone except the black couple? What's that say about me?
It's not about color, Shane.
I think Sal and Mallory are no.
You think no too? Who do you think says no though? Mallory, obviously.
I think Sal does.
You think Sal says no to
I
her?
think that he's so insecure about all this stuff because of the way that Jarrett and Mallory were just like hanging out and talking for an hour.
I don't know. He's written
And
a lot of songs to say no.
he had those in the queue. He was just
What
changing
do
the
you
name
think?
on it.
What do you think about the singing thing?
It made me really self-conscious when I started playing the ukulele and people were laughing at him.
I mean, he was pretty like I mean, he was all right, but that's just something I would not bust out like and be
I
like,
think
I
that he
wrote you a song. I think that's the most cheesy shit if it's somebody that you just know for a little bit. Like if it's somebody that you've been dating for a while and you'd be like, yeah, I could.
the overall straight up like really good people, I think is him. I think that he's just too boring for, like, he's very
Yeah,
romantic in a sense, but he like never really shows any, like he's always kind of like a monotone in his emotion with
he looks
everything.
he seems very vanilla.
Yeah. I think he says no though.
Yeah. So I think Mallory says no.
Sal says no. Who do you think that, and Jarrett and Ayana's case, I think that Ayana says no.
I think Ayana says no. That would make sense. If I had to
Um,
say, I would say that too.
and then Shane and Natalie, I think they're both yeses.
Shayna and Natalie, I think, are a yes. I think that's a yes. Does Shayna object at the wedding?
That would be hilarious. I hope that you don't see her again. Dude, the way that
The reunion or whatever thing is gonna be electric with her.
do Kyle and Shayna get back together?
No, they probably never talk to each other again. And if she sees him at a bar, she quickly turns around and like fucking gets the fuck out of there. Like that's like a part of her life that she's gonna throw way back in the books, but it's on Netflix, so she can't do it.
That was one of the most uncomfy meetings when Kyle met the parents.
Yeah. When they were grilling him about the religion thing, which I don't maybe I'm just unaware, but I don't get why religion's still a big issue in the world, but yeah, he was really going through it and he had the worst answers. He is the worst person in
Where do you
social
stand with your walk
situations.
in God? Or my family knows where they stand in their walk of God and will there be after death? And he goes 6 feet under or like in the dirt. I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God, dude.
he tried to make a nothing happens when you die joke.
Yeah.
Wrong place, wrong time, my friend.
That was the absolute worst time to say it. Like, this guy
If
is
you're trying to make
horrible.
it work, what he should have said is, "I'm not sure what happens after you die, and I don't think I should pretend to know what happens when you die. So I just, I think it's possible, but I don't think it. Maybe say
It was
that,
just the most awkward thing. I would have been happy if they just left that out because that really set guys like that back far.
I mean, it made me feel better about myself. I'm not gonna lie.
He did have a great head of hair though.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So again, I think those are all the predictions. Is that everyone?
Yeah, unless we're like really missing somebody that I. Those are all the ones we talked about, and that's everybody. That's everybody. Yeah.
Like one last thing I'll say, do you think that when you're in your mid 30s or like I don't know, I feel like some of these people are so set in their ways that they've overanalyzed and like I need to have the perfect person on every single thing. Like
Yeah.
they've been alone for so long that they're like this needs to check this box, this box. As soon as you have like a checklist of it, like you're not gonna find that person. You're gonna end up like on one of those VH1 shows about how you married yourself.
Yeah. It's you can definitely get set back and like just end up being just a weirdo. Something I'm partially scared of happening to me, which I think is very possible. But um,
Wouldn't
I
you want to
wouldn't say
meet and
I
hang
wouldn't
out with their friends? Like I
I
don't know, it
wouldn't say
just
my
seems
standards are
so.
that high, but
I don't care how deep your conversations get. You never know your actual person after you've seen them in all like different stages of the day, right? Like in the
yeah,
morning, like while
it
they're
takes
working, like while
time.
they're like when they go out and like have drinks. Like you have no idea who this person is.
Yeah.
I don't buy
Like
it.
the show is called Love is Blind because they fall in love with each other technically without seeing each other, but time is the most important thing in like a relationship, you know? Like
Yeah,
anything can seem cool for a week.
yeah, I agree. I don't know. I feel like the last 5 episodes come out Friday. I'm gonna have
We'll follow up.
we'll do a pre-show. We'll live stream. I actually
We
can't
can
live
we
stream it.
can we can Twitch stream it, maybe.
Okay,
I just
I'm down.
I got that set up now.
I'm down.
Yeah.
That was a very high level overview of Love is Blind.
Yeah, it's
If you check out like also one last thing I say, when you meet all their friends, dude, Shane's best friend from back home, which he's from Green Bay, which I found out. So probably got friends like
Shane's from Green
Jerry.
Bay?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. He doesn't even have that accent or anything.
I know. Well, he's been in Chicago for a while. I'm pretty sure he
Uh,
played baseball at Wisconsin. Funniest.
the bachelor party when he couldn't hit the ball.
I thought he was gonna like hit some home runs, dude. Like he played in college. Like he looked like he was like
He was wearing baseball
he looked
short
like the big
pants.
mean guy that like strikes out against Henry Rowan Gardner and Rookie of the Year when he strikes him
Yeah.
out with a big flutter ball.
Yeah, I
And
don't. He looks like he'd be the Aaron Kraft of his school.
I thought he'd
Really
be
knows.
sick.
Yeah, I don't. It was funny
And he
though.
struck out. He didn't make connection. He goes, we have Sal over here in dress pants and dress
Yeah,
shoes.
Sal hits it in dress
Never
shoes and
even
hits a fucking bomb.
he holds the bat up like super high. He's
Yeah,
never held a bat
they're
before.
interviewing him and he's like, "Yeah, I've never played baseball, but I think I should have." And then and then Shane's like, "It's such bullshit. I'm so mad." And you're like, "Bro, chill, dude."
He just cares a lot.
It's good.
But that's
He's a
all
passionate man.
he is. Him meeting Natalie's parents are funny.
Yeah, it was silly, but they were not happy.
No.
They had no clue. They were not happy about
She goes, what apartment is this? This is a new apartment. She goes, this is not your apartment.
She slaps her hand.
Yeah. She's like, you want to see the
Dad.
ring? So no, no. And Shane
And Shane
dumbass
busts
comes in
in.
like,
What's up, guys? What's going
yeah.
on?
He's like talking to us. Yeah, man, it was crazy. Like her parents are from Korea.
Yeah, her
Like they're
very
not.
Asian, her very Asian parents who just found out that their daughter was engaged to a guy that she met a week ago.
But that's it. We'll follow up. I'm down to live stream it on Friday. You have anything
All
else
right,
you want to talk about?
we'll look into it. We'll look into it. All right, that's it. Gotta unrecord now.